Imagine having the wealth of nations at your fingertips, yet sleeping on a factory floor. This isn't a myth. This is Elon Musk. While most chase comfort, he seems almost allergic to it. What drives someone to obsess so deeply? To burn out, rebuild, and burn again? This isn't a story of luxury. It's a profile of obsession. Not the chaotic kind, but the focused, quiet compulsion to pursue difficult, often painful goals. This is the psychology of Elon Musk, how his mind seems wired not for peace, but for pressure, and why he wouldn't have it any other way. Elon's formative years weren't soft. Born in South Africa, he was an introspective child, obsessed with books, ideas, and computers. But the environment around him was hostile. Bullying at school, emotional coldness at home. To cope, he escaped into fiction and physics, finding certainty in systems where emotions didn't dominate. Early trauma doesn't always break a person. It can forge unusual resilience. For Musk, it shaped a belief. The world won't protect you, so you must build your own armor, made of logic, precision, and purpose. His obsession didn't start with ambition. It started with survival. Musk's mind didn't just wander. It tunneled. While most people daydream, he simulated. From a young age, he used first principles thinking, breaking things down to physics-level truths, then rebuilding from scratch. This wasn't learned in business school. It was a personal operating system. When he faced a problem, he didn't ask, "What's been done?" He asked, "What must be true?" It's a cold, mechanical form of thinking, but brutally effective, and it creates distance from emotional interference. Where others see risk, he sees variables. This mental escape became his greatest asset, and perhaps his greatest cost. Drive isn't just effort. In Musk's case, it's near-maniacal endurance. He works 80 to 100-hour weeks for years at a time, not for glory, but because his internal governor doesn't slow him down. This trait, neurologically, resembles hyperfocus, similar to what we see in ADHD, but channeled into engineering instead of distraction. The discomfort most people avoid, he walks toward it. Fatigue, doubt, and criticism aren't deterrents. They're expected background noise. Relentless people don't wait for motivation. They build systems, ignore feelings, and move forward regardless. Musk doesn't have a backup plan. His psychology doesn't leave room for one. Empathy is often seen as a virtue, but high achievers sometimes dial it down, not from cruelty, but calculation. Musk has admitted he can be harsh, even cold, but to him, emotional comfort is secondary to mission clarity. He disconnects from feelings to maintain momentum. This isn't sociopathy, it's selective focus. His mind weighs outcomes, not emotions. People close to him describe him as distant, focused to the point of exclusion. It's a controversial trait, but not uncommon in visionary builders. When emotion slows the system, Musk turns it off, not because he doesn't feel, but because he can't afford to. Musk doesn't think in terms of business models, he thinks in systems. He sees companies not as products, but as machines that solve specific global problems. SpaceX isn't just about rockets, it's about multi-planetary insurance. Tesla isn't about cars, it's an energy transition system. This kind of thinking is rare. It requires abstraction, zooming out so far that strategy becomes philosophy. It also means making decisions that seem irrational in the short term, but inevitable long term. It's not reactive thinking. It's recursive. He loops over problems again and again until a path appears. Where others iterate, Musk re-architects. He doesn't follow patterns. He builds new ones, often alone. Most people avoid pressure. Musk seems to create it. At one point, he invested his last dollars into both Tesla and SpaceX, knowing either failure would bankrupt him. But here's the paradox. The higher the risk, the calmer he becomes. This inverse response isn't typical. It suggests a brain conditioned to operate best under existential threat, not because he enjoys chaos, but because it silences distractions. In moments of extreme risk, clarity sharpens. To Musk, stress is not an enemy, it's a lever, and he pulls it, again and again, until something breaks or launches. The most defining decision Musk made wasn't about rockets or cars. It was about pain. In 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were failing. He could have walked away rich. Instead, he went all in, again. This decision didn't make business sense. It made psychological sense. Because for Musk, comfort equals stagnation. He chose to burn the last bridge, not to win, but to leave no way back. When he made that decision, he wasn't betting on success. He was eliminating retreat. It wasn't a strategy, it was identity. He is the man who runs toward the fire and dares it to stop him. But obsession has a price. Behind the companies and headlines is a man who rarely rests. Failed marriages, broken friendships. Even Musk has admitted loneliness, exhaustion, and mental strain. When your life is built on discomfort, comfort becomes suspicious, even alien. There's no end zone in his mind. Only another launch, another problem, another sleepless night. To be wired like this is not heroic. It's isolating. You lose balance. And yet, he persists. Not for applause, but because it's the only way he knows how to be. For better or worse, the mission is the medicine. Most people aren't wired like Musk. And that's not a judgment. It's biology. Our brains evolved to seek safety, social belonging, and predictability. Musk's mindset bypasses all three. He's not more gifted. He's more immune. Immune to boredom. Immune to fear. But also, perhaps, to rest. His psychology is less about genius and more about thresholds, what he can endure that others avoid. It's not a better way, just a rarer one. A system built not for balance, but for breakthroughs. And it costs more than most would ever be willing or able to pay. You don't need to become Elon Musk. In fact, you shouldn't. But there's something to learn here. Not about rockets, but about resolve. About how the world bends, slowly, to people who endure discomfort longer than most. You don't need to obsess, but you can build tolerance. You can train your mind to sit with challenge, not run from it. You can ask better questions, not copy answers. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see that what makes people like Musk powerful isn't brilliance. It's persistence, directed like a laser. And that's something anyone can practice. In the end, obsession isn't glamorous. It's lonely, exhausting, often misunderstood. But in rare cases, it shapes the world. Elon Musk may never be at peace, but peace was never his goal. Progress was. And for that, he gave everything comfortable away. Not for wealth, not for fame, but because his mind wouldn't let him do otherwise. This is not a call to follow, just a chance to understand.